Hi everybody, it's Chef Rob from the Kitchen to Market and Chef in Your Kitchen, in my kitchen. Well, welcome back to my part 2 of the art of sous vide. Today I wanted to take you guys through, to me, it's the holy grail of all meats, the brisket. It is a tough meat to cook. I hear a lot of people trying it, lots having success, some struggling with it. And it is a very tough meat to cook. So today, I'm going to take you through how you can take that brisket and simplify it a little bit using the sous vide technique. And it really helps you, to me, it'll really allow for more success when you're doing that really tough brisket, the holy grail of briskets. So in this one, we are going to use the sous vide technique. We're going to talk a bit about the rubs and marinating it a bit. And then really, we're going to finish this off with putting it on that. You got two things you can do. One is if you have a smoker, put it on your smoker for a couple hours at the end after it's been sous vide. Or if you don't have a smoker, you can easily do it in your barbecue, or I'm sorry, in your oven at about 275. And what we're trying to do is just sort of put that nice little brisket bark around it and that, okay? All right, so let's talk about what we're gonna use for a sous vide for this. When you're getting into things like briskets, ones that really need some time to really cook and stuff like that, it's length, right? So one of the things when I do this brisket, I like it really where I can slice it. It's got that beautiful red, nice texture to it. And really it's around temperature-wise to what you want. I like it where I can really have that nice slice to it and stuff like that. If you like it more as a pulled, you just increase the temperature. And as I talked about in our first session on sous vide, it's really around just follow the guides of your sous vide machine. Again, there's lots of stuff out there you can talk. It talks about temperature, meats, weight, size, and stuff like that. So really just work with all those guidelines and that. And again, with your sous vide machine, absolutely they'll have very nice, easy recipes on there for you to follow in that, okay? So what I want to walk you through is my little recipe when I do a brisket now, okay? One of the things I always want to start with is around a 3.5, 4-pound brisket. One of the things I want I want that fat still on there because that's really what's going to give me that beautiful taste and flavor in that brisket now, okay? And again, you know, just head out to the market, hit some of these vendors and that have these beautiful meats. This one came from Charles Meat. It's a beautiful brisket. It's got a nice bit of fat to it. It's got a nice little meaty section to it also. So this is a really nice piece of brisket to do our sous vide now, okay? All right, so when I get into longer sous vides, it's really around, you don't want to overwork your sous vide in that, and you want to try to hold the temperatures and stuff like that. It's really around looking at a container that is somewhat insulated, that helps this long sous vide process. For me, for my brisket, it's a 50-hour process to sous vide in that, okay? And again, slow and long. It will be delicious at the end. You can go on to Amazon. You can find really fancy insulated sous vide holders for you and stuff like that. And I apologize to all those people that manufacture them. I find the best one is I've just taken one of my old coolers. And what I did was I used one of my old Coleman coolers I had. I just cut a little hole in the top by the lid, and then it fits my sous vide. I find this is it's nice size for my brisket, fits my brisket real nice, and it really insulates well and holds that water temperature in that. So very simple, you know, go to Canadian Tire, you can find tons of these type of coolers. And I find a lot of my friends, this is what we use, right? Because we can get different size coolers and depending how much meat you want to sous vide or whatever you're sous vide at a time, so you need more room and stuff like that, okay? So again, cheap way to do this and works really well in that, okay? Okay, so let's talk a bit about prepping this one, right? one of the things, I love a nice rub on this. I like a rub that's got a bit of kosher salt and stuff like that. Of course, you know me, I'm going to go to my Cajun rub. This is the one I really like on this, but again, go with any rub you want, okay? I like the Cajun rub. That's just me. But anyways, it is a good rub. And if you want, just reach out to me and I'll give you this rub. And it's a real nice, easy rub. Now, the next thing I want is, so as I talked about last week, I use the vacuum seal bags. You know, I find it just easier for me and stuff like that. Again, you can do the same thing just with a regular Ziploc bag. Just remember as you're submerging, so you get the air out and stuff like that. Okay. All right. So the one thing I want to do is I just want to get some nice rub on this. And one of the things with this one, different than when we did our steaks and that, we want to give this time a little bit of time to really soak in that beautiful marinade, that rub in that. So a lot of times what I'll do is when I do these ones, I'll do it overnight, right? So I'll put on all my rub onto this, throw it in the fridge. I'll vacuum seal it up, throw it in the fridge, and then allow it to really take that whole night to really take in all that beautiful rub in there. So highly recommend it. Do it the night before, get your rub on, and then when you're ready the next day, pull it out and then start sous videing it, okay? So I'm just sort of kind of just really nicely rubbing this in, right? I just want to get all that beautiful rub in there. And this is really what's going to really enhance the flavor. Now, here's the other thing, and I'll talk a bit about it more later on. But what this rub does is you'll see after we sous vide, we're going to have this beautiful liquid at the end. And it's really around, I use that for basis of making some sauce, some gravies and stuff like that. Okay. So again, so I'm just sort of rubbing all that in there. And be generous. Don't be shy about putting that rub on there, okay? So I got all my rub on there. I just take my bag here. And I'm just going to slide this into the bag. Best I can. And there. So I have my my brisket in the bag. I'm all ready. I'm going to go over. I'm going to do the vacuum seal with it, and then get it ready. And then I'm going to put it in the fridge overnight. Let's get it all nice and marinated out. And then I'm going to bring it out. And then we're going to sous vide it. All right. Hi, everybody. All right. So I have my brisket all nicely marinated. We're all ready to put it in the sous vide. I filled up my sous vide machine with hot water from the tap. What I want to do is I just want to get my sous vide on. I want to get it up to temp before I put my brisket in my sous vide. Okay, so I'm gonna cook this at 135 for 50 hours. What I'm looking for is that really nice, soft texture, sliceable brisket. I like it like that way. And again, so if your preference is more a pull apart brisket, it's just around increasing the temperature. And again, as I said before, follow your sous vide guidelines and the recipes and whatever's on your sous vide, and it'll give you all the hints and tricks in that, okay? So I'm gonna put this one in my sous vide machine. I'm gonna fire it up for 50 hours and get this beautiful holy grail of all meats, this brisket cooked up. Okay, see you in a while. Hi everybody, Chef Rob here, back in the kitchen. Well, 50 hours later, 135 in the sous vide machine, and now we have our brisket done here. Now, so let's talk a bit about finishing that brisket now, okay? A couple things with it. When I'm doing brisket, one of the things I always do, after I finish the sous vide, I always like to put it in cold water. I really want to chill it right down, stop the cooking process, just stop it right there, get it nicely chilled before I put it on my smoker. Because really all I want when I do it on the smoker is, I just really want to smoke it a bit, just to get a nice little bark around it and that, okay? So again, so for a brisket, that's my process. I like to put it in an ice bath for about 30 minutes just to chill it right down and that, okay? Now, the other thing with brisket is once you do the ice bath and you chill it right down, you can actually put that in your fridge for up to around 6-7 days before you actually put it on your charcoal barbecue or your regular barbecue or whatever to smoke it. So you can make this a few days in advance. And trust me, I've done it a few times. It's delicious, okay? The other process you can do, getting that nice bark on that brisket is just in your oven. So just get a nice sheet pan with a nice little rack on top. And it's 275 for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, okay? So same time, temperature in your oven as is on your barbecue, okay? And all you're trying to do is get that nice bark in that. For me, I also like to add put some wood chips in there. I like getting a little bit of a smoky flavor. So one of the chips I'm a real fan of is the mesquite chips. I love that sort of flavor and that smokiness with this brisket in that, okay? The other thing with the brisket is you're going to get a lot of juice coming from that brisket, all that beautiful juice, the spices and stuff like that. So, you know me, I don't want to waste anything. What I'll do is I'll take those juices, I'll put it in a saucepan, and I'll reduce it by about half. And this is what I add into things like my barbecue sauce. So if you go to some of my, if you see my previous YouTube video on barbecue sauces, you'll see that this is something I would add in there. So really intensify that barbecue sauce. And again, just give it a try. I think you'd be really surprised by it in that, okay? So again, we're just gonna put this on on my charcoal barbecue. I'm just gonna 275, a couple hours, get it all nice and bark on the outside and looking good, okay? All right, so the last thing I wanted to cover is really around maintaining your sous vide wine, okay? And again, it is so simple. All it is every once in a while, all you want to do is do 50% vinegar with 50% water. Put it in a container. Make sure it gets all submerged into your sous vide gets all the way submerged into it. Set it for 140. Once it hits 140, you can shut it off and that will clean out all the lime. So as simple as that. 50% water, 50% vinegar. Put your sous vide in, set it to 140 degrees. Once it hits 140 degrees, all nice and clean. That's an easy way to maintain your sous vide now, okay? So, get out there, head out to Charles Meats, get out to the Kitchener Market, grab one of these chunks of beef, and I'm telling you, try that in your sous vide. You'd be really impressed how well you can make the holy grail of all meats, the brisket. All right. So, again, Kitchener Market's open from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m. on Saturday. Outside vendors are outside now. And so get out to the market, support your local vendors. Get out and see all these guys out there. They got lots of different meats and stuff like that. You can sous vide in that. And I'm there most Saturdays. So if you want to come on up and see me, talk a bit about sous vide, or maybe you got a recipe you want to talk about, please come and see me. Hey, you all know I love cooking. And I love talking about it. So for everybody out there, please be safe. And I'm going to see you real soon, okay? Thanks for joining me.